Hello and welcome back to Minecraft Survival, and I'm here in my house, and as you can see, my armor is no longer shiny blue, it is now black and also kind of shiny because I have upgraded it all to netherite. I think I showed it off last episode where I got the upgrade smithing templates. So I duplicated those with some diamonds, and then getting netherite is actually fairly easy. I just spent a couple of hours in the nether digging tunnels. That got me enough ancient debris that I could smelt it up and make enough netherite ingots to convert all of my tools and armor to netherite. But we've been doing quite a lot of the gameplay progression sort of stuff recently, so I thought, why don't I take a break from the main gameplay, I guess, to do some base building. And while I have been doing a little bit over time, every episode I've added a bit more to this place, this time I've added a lot more. Well, I'm about to add a lot more. So far, what I've added is lots of netherrack, and as you can see, it sort of circles all my buildings, because this is basically a floor plan for where I'm going to build buildings around all the stuff that I've got here, because let's be honest, it looks bad. There's just a bunch of random farms stuck on top of a hill, and you may notice that I haven't done anything with this, and that's because I don't know what to do with this yet. Now I'm going to be building on top of this netherrack plan, you'll see in a minute, but a little hint, I have a large chest of bricks, another large chest of some bricks and some nether bricks, and this one is full of mud bricks. I've been getting the bricks from these two new villagers over here, who just sell me bricks, and might as well buy some more while we're here, because that is the primary material of the structures that we're going to build. But they're going to be very big. I've planned it-ish. I haven't exactly planned out what I'm going to build, but I've got a little bit of, I guess, practice at the style that I want to build in, so hopefully I'll be able to put it around the shape that I have planned out up there. But this will probably take me quite a long time to build because it's going to be very big. So that's why this episode's taken so long for me to make, is because I've been doing a lot of building. I will probably build like one building and then come back, and then you can see what one building looks like, and then I'll build some more buildings, and then I'll see if I can even do the whole thing in one episode, because I might not be able to complete the entire plan in one episode, because the plan is quite grand. I am probably not very good at estimating the amount of time that it will take me to build the thing that this plan represents. Also, as you can see, these caves over here, I completely ignored. I'm not sure whether I'm just going to like cover them over, just put some nice like grass over the top of them and pretend they're not there, or if I'm actually going to leave it like this and sort of integrate it into the building. Although what I've done is I've put the netherrack at the height that I'm going to be building the buildings at. It is up at this side, and then it goes down a bit in the middle, and then it comes back up the other side, because well, obviously there's a hill at the sort of the corners, mostly at this side, and I didn't want it to be completely flat, but I didn't want to have too much elevation, so the middle bit I will have to raise up the ground level to meet the buildings. But I guess what I have to do now is start building, and I have no doubt that this amount of bricks that I have here will not be anywhere near enough. And let's get building. A couple of hours later, and I have built something, and this is the worst side to look at it from. So it's got towers and windows and crenellations and a roof, and this is, how much of it is it? It's a little bit, like an eighth or something. It's also only one floor high here and two on this bit. So this is one of the smaller bits, really, but this wasn't particularly quick to build. And if I go over to my chests of resources, I've used up all the bricks that were in this chest, and like a row of the ones in this chest. My mud bricks are now spread out more, I guess, because there's a lot of stairs and slabs, but I've used up quite a few stacks, and I've already ran out of nether bricks and had to go smelt up some more. So here's my new nether bricks, which will then be crafted into stairs for the roofs. But of the like 7 rows of stacks of bricks I had, I've used up 2 of them to build what is probably less than a tenth of the actual material that I'll need, because although footprint wise it's maybe an eighth, in height it is possibly the lowest bit, and so the rest of it's going to need more materials for the footprint, so I'm going to need significantly more brick. And fortunately I have plenty of emeralds to give to my masons. I just have to sit here and get a load more brick from these guys, and of course they lock out and don't want to give me any more, and so I have to wait another day in game just so I can get more bricks from them. But it's still easier than going and actually getting clay manually. Now I just have to build the rest of it, which is going to be a process. As you can see, I have gone and built the basic exterior. We have a load of big buildings, and most of them have the exterior finished. There's a couple of bits that I haven't finished, which is the top of the main gateway entrance thing here. I'm not really sure what I want to do with this bit here. There'll probably be some kind of roof on top of this, but I haven't worked out what I'm doing with it yet. Or I'm also not sure whether I'm putting a door here, or this is going to be a waste that goes straight through, and there'll be something like door in the side of that. And the same thing with the porcelain gate around the back. I haven't decided what I'm really doing with it yet, and what I'm doing with the roof. You may also notice that the bamboo farm is still exposed. I have a plan for what I'm doing with this. It's going to require one large building that will be a bit different from everything else. Same materials, but it won't be the same sort of structure. It will be something a bit more, but it took me long enough to do this, and I didn't want to do that at the same time because it's going to require even more resources, and I'm out of everything that I was building with for like the 10th time. I've got a few bricks, although most of these I've got since I actually finished building. It turns out that the times crafted statistic for some reason includes stuff you've got from villagers, because I know for a fact that I have not crafted 36,000 bricks. However, I have probably traded that much, because I don't think the few bricks that I did actually make myself by smelting clay, I don't think they count to this. So I think this just is the amount that I've traded with villagers, and as you can see that translates to 9,000 bricks, of which you can see that I've only actually placed 6,600 because a bunch of them have been turned into like brick walls and brick stairs and all the other stuff. So bricks is now my most placed block, and then next from build is like mud stairs, and then brick walls, and then nether brick stairs, because that's what the roofs are. There's a lot of blocks that have gone into this, and there's a lot of time that I've spent building this, and we're nowhere near complete. Obviously I need interiors-ish for this. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do inside. I tried building some kind of like period interior to match the outside, but Minecraft just doesn't really allow for that. I don't have the options that I would want to make it correct. So what I'm thinking is we're going to build something that doesn't match and just try and make that work. Because everything I have is built out of bamboo planks, and obviously that doesn't match. But what I'm thinking I'll do is keep most of the bamboo stuff intact, but somewhat adjust it and turn it into some kind of like hyper-modern futuristic sort of thing. And then, sure, that doesn't match the outside, but if I can make it work, it could be kind of cool to have that contrast between the old-fashioned outside and then the sort of futuristic inside. But there are some windows that obviously aren't going to make any sense. Like this just goes straight through to the side of the sugarcane farm. So I might put like black concrete or something behind some of the windows so that you can't see the sides of farms. But ideally I would have some that you can actually properly see in, just not to the interior you would be expecting. You probably also noticed that none of the farms that I've actually got really go into the second floor of my buildings, and some of them have 3 floors. So what am I doing with the other floors? Well, that's a good question. I'm gonna put a storage system somewhere that'll either be in here or in here. Not sure which one yet. I'm sure I'll think of other farms and things I can put in. So like the sheep farm is like barely up to the windows of the ground floor, and then the storage for it is underneath the floor. And the other major glaring thing you can notice is that half the thing is floating. It's not actually on the ground, because the whole ground is going to need to be terraformed. I'm going to need to raise up the interior so that it matches all the buildings around, and then it will also match this walkway thing. I've always wanted to build one of these, and I've finally found an excuse to. So there will at some point be a doorway here, rather than just a hole to the interior. But you will be able to walk along here between the 2 courtyards. I'm not sure what I'm going to put quite in the courtyards yet. There'll probably be some kind of nice plants around the edges, maybe some cobbled area in the middle. And then it comes over to the edge here, and you have another bit of walkway along here. And there's a word for this, and I can't remember what it's called, where you have covered walkway, bottom edge of a building. I should remember that. But it'll look a lot better when there's actually like ground here, and obviously the same for the outside, and the worst bit is round here. I'm not going to cover up the hole, I have decided. I'm going to leave the hole and turn it into some kind of feature. If I make the ground match this and then sort of fall away sharply, there'll be this big hole next to it, but I'll find a way to somewhat incorporate that. That's really the worst bit in terms of matching the exterior ground level. There's some other bits that need a bit of work, but that shouldn't be too hard. I also need to do something with this, and as you can see there's a couple of bits missing from the mud brick stairs. That's because there will be another kind of archway here going between the building here and the other building here, but I haven't built that yet, so I didn't do that either. That also reminds me that I need to put doors in things, because currently you can get in here, and you can get in here, and then you can get in through the archways, but there is currently no way of accessing like half the buildings. You can't really get through to this, so there'll probably be a doorway. One of these I'll probably replace with a doorway, but I need to put like a doorway on this one, and a doorway over here. But I want to put the ground in first, so that I know what level I'm putting the ground at. It also depends on what I'm doing with the interiors, although of course I can just move around stuff if I need to. But this is definitely the single largest thing I've built in Minecraft. Even in my creative world, I do have some big things, but not single structures. I have an entire like city that I'm somewhat in the process of building. Whether or not I will ever finish it is a good question. I think the answer is no. There's also my desert civilization I've been working on. If anyone does remember my Minecraft creator series, it's not dead, it will come back at some point. I work on it occasionally, but I haven't done anything major to be worth making an episode of. But if you have seen that, you may remember some of the stuff I've built, and obviously some of that does have a total size of larger than this, but for one single build that I built, not in one go, but over the space of about a week, this is by far the largest thing I've ever built. And of course it's in survival, not creative, so that makes it more of an achievement, I guess. But it's turned out as good as I could have hoped it to. There are some little details that perhaps it would be nice to have. With the restrictions of Minecraft, I couldn't quite have it to what I wanted. However, there are some details that I thought about including that I didn't include. Like, I was originally planning in my practice builds that I did in creative to work out how to do this style. I was thinking of having some kind of more weathering on it, so turning some of these blocks into stairs and things, so little indents in the walls and stuff. But I realised that as this is inspired by Tudor castles, I didn't actually want it to look like how Tudor castles look now. I wanted it to look more like how Tudor castles would have looked back then. So I don't want it to look weathered. I want it to look new and as it was meant to look, really. So that's why I'm not going to bother with any of that. Also because I've spent way too much time on this already and I don't want to redo half of it. But that is going to be it for this video. So thank you for watching. And that is genuinely thank you for watching, because if it weren't for the fact that I was doing this for YouTube, I probably wouldn't have bothered building this in the first place. In fact, I'm not sure I'd still be playing Minecraft at all if it weren't for the fact that you guys watch the videos. So thank you for watching, and I hope you're already subscribed. I don't need to say, don't get distracted, go subscribe now. But the YouTube analytics would tell me otherwise. Anyway, goodbye.